All praises to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel, who are the people that in the end times when salvation is being handed out, they're going to be the people that get the salvation, right? Because they've been predestined to receive it from the foundation of the world. This is going to be a video entitled Mom's J-Wish, all right? And the reason why it's going to be titled that is because that's the classification that some of these people that want to try and pretend like they're the Israelites have tried to use in order to say that they are a child of Israel, right? But then what's funny about this video with this guy, with this Vocab Malone character, is that he's having this guy standing in front of him saying that he's an Israelite, right? I watched the whole video, so I can say this for a fact. He never asked this guy for no DNA test to prove that. He never asked him for one. In fact, he never really asked him to prove that he is an Israelite. But when it comes to us, he wants all these things and all these proofs that he never asked this guy for. And even some of the things that this guy was saying, even Vocab Malone himself was having to say that's not even in the Torah. Because there was a point in the video, right, where this guy tried to say that the reason why Abraham was chosen is because of something that Abraham did. But then even Vocab Malone said, no, that ain't nowhere in the Torah. It just says that he obeyed. There wasn't no particular thing that Abraham did that made him be worthy to be the line of the chosen. And there wasn't, right? God chose him and said, I'm going to give you a land. And he listened to it, which is scriptural, right? And then in the first, the first maybe 10 minutes of the video, he said his mom is an Israelite and that's why he's an Israelite. But he used that J-Wish buzzword that you can't even really say because the video gets taken down off the internet because these people are scared cowards, man, that don't like to be spoken about, right? They're scared little cowards, man, right? But anyway, right, I'm going to go into the scriptures and show if that's ever been a classification on what makes you an Israelite. Your mom being an Israelite makes you one, which is not true, right? That's not true, man. And it's disgusting how Vocab Malone listened to this guy saying all of this when that's not true, man, right? It's not true. Vocab Malone would ask us for a DNA test and all types of stuff, right? To have we did a DNA test and all of that. But he never asked this guy if he's did a DNA test. Because what these people have tried to do is make their genetics, which are Edomite genetics, be the classification to decide who is an Israelite. So if somebody compares their genetics or whatever compared to these Edomite ones that are now being classified as being an Israelite, now they'll be, oh, now you're not an Israelite because it don't match my Edomite thing that's being called the Israelite thing. So why would we do any DNA test bullshit, man? They can kiss my ass with all that DNA stuff because I don't recall the Israelites ever doing none of that. I don't recall them ever doing none of that stuff. So why are people trying to put that classification on us when they're at the same time they want to talk about don't follow endless genealogies? But surely it's an endless genealogy when you're running around talking about I'm 75% Eskimo tribes, 2% Cherokee, 15 Irish, and then whatever else is whatever else. I'm a bit Chinese in there as well. So what are you then? Because I know that there ain't no such thing as a mixed person in the Bible. There ain't one mixed person in the Bible, man. Numbers chapter 1 and verse 2. Take ye the sum of all the congregation of the children of Israel after their families by the house of their fathers with the number of their names, every male by their poll. So when they were selecting who's going to fight for an army, they were selecting it based on the father. Why? Because the father decides whether you are an Israelite or not. That's what decides. What's a proof on that? What's a proof on that, man? Let's get it. Exodus chapter 2 and verse 15, I believe it is. Exodus chapter 2 and verse 15. Now when Pharaoh heard... No, that's not it. Yeah, I can start there. Now when Pharaoh heard... Exodus chapter 2 and verse 15. Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses, but Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian, and he sat down by a well. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water, and filled the trough with water, with their father to their fathers to water their father's flock, and the shepherds came and drove them away. But Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flock. And when they came to a well, their father, he said, "How is it that ye come so soon today?" And he said, "An Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us, and watered the flock." And he said unto his daughters, "And where is he? Why is it that ye left the man? Why is it that ye have left the man? Call him, that we may eat bread." And Moses was content to dwell with the man, and he gave Moses Zipporah, his daughter. So this man's daughter was a Midianite, right? And Moses had a child with this woman, and the child is considered as a Levite, but the mother was not one. So why is it that child is considered in the genealogy of the Levites, if you have to be a Israelite based on your mother? Someone's got to explain that, right? First Chronicles chapter 23 and verse 14. Now concerning Moses, the man of God, his sons were named of the tribe of Levi. The sons of Moses were Gershom and Eleazar. So what are you people talking about, man? And then here's what we have to go to as well, right? If being an Israelite is based on your mother, right? Mom's J3Wi H, right? Then who was the first Israelite, right? What was the name of the first Israelite tribe, right? What was the name of the first Israelite tribe? Was it not Reuben? But who was the first Israelite though? Was it not Jacob? So how could the lineage be decided by the mother when Jacob had children with 4 different women to make the 12 tribes of Israel be tribesmen? Like, there's not no special thing about the Israelites when it comes to your lineage being decided by the father, right? That's just a thing with humans in general, right? Because every human is born of the seed of man. There's not no special thing. Oh, Israelites are so special that they make their lineage be decided a different way. No, the Israelite lineage is decided the same exact way as everybody else decides their lineage, by the father, because human beings are born by the seed of man, right? Every human comes from the seed of man. Every single woman that walks around right now on this earth originally came from the seed of man. And every single man also came from the seed of man. And every single woman belongs to her father's lineage. And every single child that a woman gives birth to belongs to the husband of that woman, or the man that she had children with's lineage, right? Women don't continue on their own lineage. They continue on the lineage of another man. And this is what a lot of people do not understand, yet they think that they're deep, man. They think that they're deep in the Bible, and they think that they know things, but they don't even understand such basic things like that, man. They don't even understand such basic things as this. It's ridiculous, right? They think that they're deep and they understand things in the Bible, but something as small as that, they can't grasp, man. And that's why this whole mom's J3Wi H thing is ridiculous, right? It doesn't make no sense, man. It's stupid, right? Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7 and verse 1. I myself also am a mortal man, like to all, and of the offspring of him that first was made of the earth. And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be the flesh. And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in a time of 10 months, being compacted in blood of the seed of man. And the pleasure that came with sleep, every single person that's ever been born in this earth came from the seed of a man. That's what decides the lineage. All this women worshipping stuff where people want to try and make out as though women have got some kind of control over the lineage. That's stupid, man. Because women don't have their own seeds, man. They don't have it. If women had their own seed, that would mean that it would be possible for women to have children without a man. And that's not possible. Because the whole virgin birth thing that people want to believe, that's not true neither. And all you people have to do to prove that you can be an Israelite based on your mother is show it in the Torah or show it in the Tanakh. Just show it. Don't get on a hype. Don't start frothing at the mouth. Just show it, man. I've showed it where it's based on the father, and I'll show it again. Numbers chapter 1 and verse 2, take ye the sum of all the congregation of the children of Israel after their families by the house of their fathers, with the number of their names, every male by their polls, right? Verse 18, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of their names, from 20 years old and upward by their polls. Now, here's the funny thing when it comes to Jacob's children, right? Jacob had 13 children, but the only one of his children that does not have a tribe named after them is his daughter. So that right there proves that the lineage is not decided by the father. By the mother, excuse me. Because there's no tribe of Dinah. There isn't one. And all these women that are running around saying that they're Judah, they're Levi, and they're Levi and all of this. They want to say, I'm Levi, right? I'm Yehudim and all that. They want to come with all that, right? Well, who was that? Who was this Yehudim that you want to talk? Wasn't he Judah, a man? So how are you trying to claim that the lineage is decided through you somehow, right? Yet you're calling yourself after the name of a man. You're calling your tribe that you want to call yourself is a man. It's a man's name, right? There isn't no tribe. There's no tribe of the children of Israel that is named after a woman. 0 tribes, right? 0 of the tribes are named after a woman's name. Not one of them. Yet they want to try and make out as though lineage is decided by the mother. It's ridiculous, man. This world is so disrespectful to men that they don't even want to accept something as basic as that. And then even when you look at what these J-Wish people try and say, is they've even admitted it themselves that it's not really based on that. But they want to try and say, oh, well, the mother's lineage can always be proven. That's why we try and go by that classification. But here's the thing that we have to point out when we're talking about these people is, who said that that mother is that? What's her proof that she is it? What's her proof? Because everyone always wants to come to with us with a DNA all that DNA test talk, right? But they don't come to it with those people. All those people have to do is slap a little circle hat on their head, right? Dress in all black, curl the edges of their hair, right? And now all of a sudden they're an Israelite. How's that work? How's that, bro? That's clothes. That don't mean nothing. If I put on a Shaolin temple garment, right, does that mean I'm a Chinese monk, fam? No, it don't. If I paint my forehead red with a little dot on there, does that mean that I'm an Elamite now? No, it don't. You know what I mean? If I put on a blonde toupee on my head, am I now an Edomite? No, I'm not, man. The clothes that you wear, which them clothes ain't got nothing to do with the Israelites anyway, but the clothes that you wear does not make your lineage be chosen, man. It's ridiculous the way how these people have came with all of these things to try and make out as though they're the children of Israel with no proof, right? Everyone wants to come to us with proof, but then when it comes to them, they don't say the same. They don't keep the same energy, man. But prophecy shows that we are the Israelites, right? Prophecy showing the things that Israelites are doing are showing that we're Israelites. The things that we've been through show that we're Israelites. Just the fact that we got brought into a captivity and we're still there now, waiting to come out. Those people in the land of Israel claiming to be the chosen, they ain't gone through that. Their thing that they're complaining about wanting mercy for, that shit's over. They ain't still in that state. They ain't still in the hands of those that oppress them. They're gone from them, man. They ain't nowhere near those Germans no more, according to what they tried to claim was a hardship. They ain't nowhere near those Germans no more, unless they want to be by them. Whereas we can't get Esau away from us. We can't. We ain't been told that there's a certain land that belongs to us and none of that. We've been told, deal with it. Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 1, and it shall come to pass when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations with Yahweh thy power have driven thee. Why aren't them people in the land talking about the curses, man? Why is it only us talking about the curses? Right? How comes whenever you hear about the Deuteronomy 28 curse, it's always a Negro, Latino, or Native American talking about it? How comes we never heard about those curses from them talking about it? How comes they've never explained what Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68 is talking about? Why not? Even if they want to say it's something that happened ages ago, how comes they've never talked about it, man? And then what if, let's say there was to say, oh, Deuteronomy 28 and 68 was fulfilled 1,500 years ago, let's say. Well, how do you prove that that was you and not us? How could you prove that that was you that went through that Deuteronomy 28:68 that happened 1,500 years ago and not the so-called black people that are saying that they're Israelites still to this day, along with the Latinos and the Native Americans? And wouldn't it make sense that they've also got something that they can point to that happened about 400 or 500 years ago that also matches Deuteronomy 28:68? Wouldn't that make sense? Like, it's ridiculous when it comes to these people, man. Some of the things that they're prepared to say and the standards that they're prepared to use to try and for us to go through to show that we're Israelites, but then they don't expect the same things to be done for anybody else. A heathen, a Moabite can literally put on one of them little circle hats on their head, right? And then curl the side of their head. And then all of a sudden now they'll believe that they're Israelite and they won't even ask them for no DNA test. They won't ask them. They only say that stuff to us, man, because it's become globally accepted, socially accepted for somebody that's got pale skin to say that they're Israelite and no one cares. No one don't question it, man. And that's why there's all these celebrities in the world these celebrities that look like Caucasians, they say that they're that all the time. Never get asked to prove it. They just say my mom is. You know what I mean? But if we say my dad is, they'll be like, oh, prove it. If I say my dad's an Israelite, that's why I am, right? They'll be like, prove it, prove that he is. But when they say my mom's an Israelite, that's why I'm one. No, they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, because it does go through the mom's lineage, don't it? Hang on. How comes you ain't asking them for proof? Sounds like a double standard to me. Which it is, because you people really are just racist, man. You got that black hate in you, that you don't want us to have anything. You just want us to be black people in the world, being black, doing black things. Psalm chapter 2 and verse 1, why did the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together against Yahweh, against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. So one of the ways that they'll do that is that they don't want to accept who we are. They're going to make it be a thing where they don't accept who we are. They're going to try and get rid of talking about us as what we are. And even when you hear Volker Malone talk about the children of Israel, right? He never calls them Israelites, really, when he's talking about them, right? Even though that's the word that you find most common in the Bible, he'll always say the J thing, the J-wish thing, right? The J's wish. He'll always say that. He don't really say Israelite, really, because he's part of the whole thing of trying to make the name of Israel being no more in remembrance, man. Psalm chapter 83 and verse 2, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and have consulted against thy hidden ones. Now, if everyone's accepting who that you're the chosen, that means you're obviously ain't hidden ones. We're the hidden ones because people want to question why we believe that we're anything other than what they've told us we are. So when they say we're black, and we're like, no, I'm not, my skin's actually brown, they'll think about it for a second and be like, hang on, these blacks are starting to think. You know what I mean? They'll be like, hang on, who told you ain't black? Because I never said that you can call yourself anything different. Why are you thinking you ain't black? No, well, if you look at my skin, right, it's not black, mate. It's brown. And if I look at your skin, it's not white, mate. It's pink, red color. That's why we don't call ourselves black. Plus, we've also noticed that every 50 plus years, you clowns want to always try and change whatever you want to call us, man. So given another 50 years from now, Issa would try and, just to throw a spanner in the works, try and call Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans something else, man. They'd be like, oh, black's actually quite a bit offensive. We're going to call them dark-skinned people instead nowadays. They've come up with something new, man. Verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. So it's obvious that people aren't going to want to accept that we're the Israelites because they want us to be cut off from being a nation, man. They don't want us to have any kind of belief in ourselves, man. Whichever you know that you're an Israelite, you're going to have the ultimate belief in yourself. You're going to really believe in yourself if you know that you're an Israelite. Whereas if you think that you're black, like, you're just happy to have a job when you're black. You should be happy to have a job that's enough for you to go on holiday once a year. And that's better than most when you're black. But when you're an Israelite, you'll be like, hang on, I'm supposed to be able to do whatever I want to do at all times. And in fact, I'm supposed to be ruling over you. You ain't even supposed to be telling me what to do. In fact, you shouldn't even really be looking me in the eye. In fact, I'm supposed to have my own land and I'm supposed to rule the earth and be telling you what to do. Salakia, 1 second. Let me read verse 4 again. They have said, come on, let's cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So people don't want us to be the Israelites, man. They just want us to be black, right? Because it's too painful for them to think about the repercussions of us being the chosen, right? They've become comfortable with those people in the land of Israel being oppressed and then talking about how, oh, some of us are practicing, but some of us are not practicing, trying to make out like, oh, it's crazy how some of them are not keeping the laws and all of that. Forgetting that there's a whole prophecy that says that when the Israelites are established back in their land, that there's not going to be a need for another Israelite to teach another Israelite anymore, because every Israelite is going to know the Lord from the least to the greatest. And this is a prophecy, right? That can be found in the Jeremiah 31 and verse 31 to verse 34. So they can't try and say, oh, I don't believe in the New Testament. So that's not that you can't mention Hebrews 8 to me because I don't believe in the New Testament, because the things mentioned in Hebrews 8th chapter are mentioned in Jeremiah 31, which is what those people in the land of Israel supposedly believe in, right? They don't believe in the New Testament, but they believe in the Tanakh though, right? That's what they say, right? So how's that prophecy? Why is that prophecy not been fulfilled then? Why not? Plus, they don't even believe that Yahweh Shai is the Messiah, right? They don't believe that prophecy's even happened. It's ridiculous, man. And Volcab Malone knew that when he was interviewing that guy, but never really questioned it and talking about, oh, I did say off camera. Why didn't you say on camera? You say everything else on camera. Why didn't you talk about that on camera for everyone to see so that we can hear his answer? Why not, man? Because you knew that what he would have said, Israelites would have used it to prove that these people ain't them, man. And that's why even some of the things that this guy was saying, you was having to even step in your own self, because it was condemning your own Christian doctrine that you believe in. And you was having to be like, nah, it don't say that. It don't say that Abraham did something special to be the part of the chosen line. You're saying that. And then even the guy was talking about, oh, the Talmud. What's the Volcab? I'm getting angry, man. Volcab Malone, yeah, don't believe that the Apocrypha is of any worth. But then he'll sit up there and listen to a guy telling him everything that's in the Talmud, though. Oh, the Talmud says that this is why, mate. Nah, man. The Talmud ain't got nothing to say about nothing to do with anything, man. Hosea chapter 1 and verse 10, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sands of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. And that's everywhere that the Israelites are right now, man. It's being said, you ain't the people, man. Shut up, man. You're black. So you're telling me that you're an Israelite. So how comes you're not in the land then? As if the Israelites didn't spend 400 years in Egypt. So being an Israelite is not based on the land that you live in. Being an Israelite is not based on whether you keep the laws or not, neither. Right? Just because someone keeps the laws, that doesn't mean that they're an Israelite. Because there's people right now in the land of Israel keeping the laws partially, and they are not Israelites. Is there not a prophecy about how Israelites was gonna, how heathens were gonna take the land of Israel, Edomites in particular? Ezekiel chapter 36 and verse 5. Therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession with joy of heart, with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. Meaning that there's people in the land of Israel right now that are Edomites. So who are these people? And there's heathens that have got the land of Israel right now too. Unless you're saying that Ezekiel 36 has been fulfilled, which if it has, then you got to show me this. You got to show this. Wait 1 second, man. Verse 35. And they shall say, this land that was desolate is become like the Garden of Eden. Can you say that about the land of Israel right now? Can you say that the land of Israel is like the Garden of Eden? Or would people not really even rock with that place that much? Would people really want to more so visit America or Switzerland or Dubai instead of visiting Israel? It ain't really popping like that. That's not the most beautiful place in the world right now. That's not the most visited place on earth. People would much rather go Miami or something like that instead of going to the land of Israel, because the people that are supposed to be there ain't there, right? They're not there, man. Verse 7. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I have lifted up mine hand. Surely the heathen that are about you shall bear their shame. But ye, O mountains of Israel, shall shoot forth your branches and yield your fruit to my people Israel, for they are at hand to come. They ain't there yet, man. It's getting ready for them to be there, though. They ain't yet there. And if they are there, then explain why they ain't fulfilling the prophecy, man, pertaining to the Israelites going back to the land. Or you people going to try and say, oh, it happens in parts. Well, where does it say that in the scriptures, man? How long is it going to take? It's been since 1948. How much longer do they need, man, to get it going? They ain't even got it right for themselves if they're meant to be the chosen. They ain't even all keeping the law themselves, man. They ain't even been able to overcome not keeping a rainbow parade in the land. But I'm supposed to believe they're the chosen. I don't believe it. I don't believe you. We don't believe you, man. We're not going to go back. There's no way, unless Yahweh puts a spirit on me to bug me out, man, that I'm ever going to not believe that I'm an Israelite, to believe that I'm black anymore and be black British. That black British ain't worth a damn. Black anything ain't worth a damn. But when you an Israelite, right, even if you're having a bad day or whatever, you still got hope in yourself, man, and you're not completely demoralizing yourself because you understand the position that you're in. When Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans consider themselves as being Israelites, the state that we're in makes sense. The position that we're in makes sense. We understand why we went through slavery. We understand why our people kill each other. We understand why our women don't like the men, partly of the nation, and why the men have got a problem with the women. We understand why our people are not rich, even though we have great talents. We understand all of that. But when we think we're black, we're just a valley of dry bones, man. Ain't got no life in us. So therefore, understanding that makes sense that we are in fact the Israelites, man. Because the Bible, when it's applied to our lives, makes the most sense compared to applying the Bible and the curses and all of these things to any other people. If you tried to put anybody else as the Israelites using the curses of Deuteronomy 28 verse 68, it wouldn't make sense. Because the Chinese, they can set up a shop in a so-called black people's neighborhood or a so-called Latino people's neighborhood and get money. We can't do that in their neighborhood because we're cursed. We can't set up a store in anyone else of a heathen's neighborhood and be able to make money from and bleed that neighborhood dry because they've got their own industries. We're not the supplier of any goods. So just by that alone, we can't even do that. We can't even run the industries that the foundation of the industry are our bodies. That's why we don't run the NFL. We don't run the NBA. We don't run boxing. We don't run the music industry. We're cursed. But you people don't want to accept that we're cursed because it makes too much sense. So you'll just say, oh, now you're lazy blacks. Oh, now it's because you don't work hard enough. You got to buckle up your bootstraps and really get it together. Oh, it's because you fight against each other. Well, why are we doing that? Is it because of Deuteronomy 28 verse 54? But I'm rambling a bit now anyway, man. So I'm going to end the lesson there, man. But this video was on that whole mom's J3Wi thing, man, and showing that ain't biblical. You being an Israelite based off your mother is not a biblical thing, man. That's not real. Because nobody is based on their mother's seed because their mom don't have a seed. If your mom's got a seed, right, I've got something to tell you. That's not your mom. If you ever hear a woman talking about she's got some seed, right, You need to have a little sit down with your father to learn what a woman looks like for real, bruh. So if any of if any of you people that want to say women produce seed and you've got a girlfriend that's talking about I've got some seeds, right? I need to tell you a little something about what you think is your bird, mate. Nah, that ain't no woman, bruv. You understand? Women don't produce no seeds, man. Men do. What don't people get about that? Do you need to have a birds and a bees sit down again? You didn't. Did you miss that one? But anyway, I think I've said enough, man. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel, and all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Shalom.